sex and sex toys and masturbating and having safe sex, and those are kind of all the topics that we're gonna be like talking about now. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm in Florence. I'm in my friend's balcony. She's here with me. Initially we tried to film together, but she hasn't really been on camera before and she's kind of shy, which I completely understand, because we were talking about how like weird it is sometimes to be recording these types of videos alone and be like kind of confident enough to carry on a conversation even though kind of no one's watching. But what I think about a lot of the times is that when I'm recording myself and I'm talking on the phone, it's like I'm just talking to a friend, because a lot of my best ideas for like creative things and videos come from conversations that I have with my friends that we both find like really interesting. And when I was telling you my friend Carla, like we have the best astrology conversations, and those are some of the conversations that bring me the most joy. And we have very different opinions about a lot of things, but being able to relate to each other and understand each other's point of view with an open mind without like feeling judged. So today I'm in Florence, and look, the Duomo's there. Look how beautiful. So yeah, this would be a great spot to film videos together, Lorabella.
For sure.
And we will at some point. And she's gonna bite the bullet and record with me one day. Anyway, we were filming before and I was telling her what I did this weekend, of how like I basically was like not allowed to get into Berghain because we went to Berlin, my friend and I, and it was a hilarious story. But basically we were not allowed in because we were not being ourselves. We were trying to be like the version of ourselves that thought that could get into Berghain, and that's kind of what they can smell. It's like, are you being authentic or not? And we were definitely not being authentic. We were trying to be like raver people, even though we both have pretty interesting, especially him with all his neon, really great personal style. So yeah, that was just like a cool little story of the weekend.
And
Maybe
it's great that you realized that too, like you noticed that was probably the reason.
we did, because like we tried a total of 4 times to get in. We went for the first time, we did the line. It was Sunday, 6 p.m. on Sunday, so there was like barely any line, and they were like, not tonight guys. So we were like, okay, we can try again, we can go back to the hotel, change, try again, which we did, but we were still trying, which was the problem. So they were again like, we did the line, it was maybe 10 people, like there was not that many people. We should have tried to go on a Friday or a Saturday, but anyway, they were like, not tonight guys, and we're like, okay, yeah, whatever. We ended up going back like a few hours later, dressed as we were, like same, but maybe it was like, okay, we'll try again like later in the night, you never know. No. And then we're like, okay, let's just split and try individually because maybe it's just one of us. And no, they didn't let us through. So anyway, the next day my friend was wearing like a neon outfit, and he was like, I'm pretty sure I would have gone in like this without like listening to all your friends telling me that it was a strictly black dress code, which is not true at all. Like there were many people not wearing black.
Yeah, you have to trust your gut more, trust yourself more.
We should not have tried that much.
Easier said and done though.
We should not have tried that much because we got in our head, you know, overthinking. Like me too, for example, like my friend here also wants to create.
That's my job too. That's basically why I'm not on video right now, because I overthink too much.
But you also are used to be on the backstage, you know,
yes.
of like fashion and everything
and writing.
Yeah, but being creative and being like vulnerable enough to put yourself online, like it's hard, especially when you find like talking to the phone cringe, which can definitely be kind of cringe, especially in the beginning, but the more you do it, the easier it gets.
Yes.
And I feel like I have like a good way of getting people to talk to me, just because I am so blunt and
You're my social media therapist.
But YouTube is my therapy, and I mentioned this too because like just making a video, recording, getting everything out just feels good. So when my friend and I here, we were talking about relationships and like sex and sex toys and masturbating and having safe sex, and those are kind of all the topics that we're gonna be like talking about now. It's hard to communicate like certain things with your partner. I don't know, like, do you feel that way?
Yeah, because you don't want to offend them or make them feel bad about themselves or make them overthink, oh, am I not good enough, or like, or maybe you don't even know what you want or how to help them improve,
or how to communicate to what you want, because sometimes it's hard for me to find the words to express what I want, because I don't know what I want, but I kind of, you know,
you feel it, but you don't know how to like articulate it.
Yeah, definitely. But I also find like some guys are just shy. Some guys are just like, you're like, oh, I don't want to talk about it. But
yeah, and also the problem could be also from watching the porn and then not realizing it's different from real life, and thinking like, oh, like I thought this would be like this, like, oh, like I thought you would be ready.
Yeah, you
like,
kind of have the sense that
like the whole foreplay thing is a big deal and it's very important for sex. And
El foreplay, the foreplay is so important, because if you're not like, you know, ready, it's half of the fun gone.
And that, you have to get ready. I mean, that shit doesn't just happen like in 1 second, like you see in porn. You have to really get ready.
Yeah, exactly. And like, I enjoy giving pleasure, which makes me even hornier. So that's part of the reason why I like the foreplay, because it's fun. It gets you in the mood and it gets you ready, and I enjoy it. And I like for them to enjoy, which is what I am enjoying as well, like giving pleasure, not like the act itself, which is something that like, then I make these videos also for people to like be more close to having a conversation like this, because I know that not a lot of people do. I'm sure a lot of people talk about sex, especially in the English culture, but in Mexico, my friends who are now 26 years old, it's still hard for us to have conversations around sex and be open enough with each other to talk about our sex life. It's not something that we do like openly as a group, like as a big group. It's more something that we do individually with like 1 or 2 friends, but it's not like the Americans that are just so like, fuck me hard and good and choke me. Which,
like, very open about it, like, oh yeah,
but maybe I feel sometimes like it's too open. But I don't know, I like to be open because I want to be like comfortable enough to have that conversation to make it better, because it gets better when you talk about it.
Because I have a lot of friends, okay, I don't want to say a lot, but I just know a few people that have been maybe recently in divorce or breakups, and a lot of it comes back to sex. I don't want to put it all on that, but like, if you don't have good communication and you're not getting your needs met sexually and intimately,
it's a big part. We're not gonna say it's the most important part of our relationship, but it's a maybe it's a second most important thing, or one of the most important things, to have a great sexual chemistry. Because if it's not there, it's not there. It's like, it's hard to have something really good. So you wanna, you know, experiment a bit until you find someone that you can connect so deeply with. But this is something. Wait, you said something that reminded me. Oh, yeah. I remember I said this in a video before in Spanish, but I say like, this is, por eso regresan los exes. This is why people go back to their ex, because the sex was so good. Which is really true. Like, happens a lot. And this is why people cheat.
Yeah, it's a toxicity of that. Yeah, it's like, oh, really shitty person, but really good sex. Like, he's a fuckboy. That's probably why he's good at sex, because he's having it with so many women. But, like, that's also why I think we should maybe in the future talk more about like open relationships, like how it's actually a thing. Like,
I feel like it can work. It can definitely work for some people.
Communication. It's just about communication and putting it right up front. Like,
but it's definitely not for everyone. I don't feel like that could be for myself. Maybe not at this point in my life, but like maybe when I'm older. Like, I don't know, or more experimental. I don't know. I always tend to keep an open mind, because I won't judge anything until I've tried it myself. So if it works for you, I mean, there's like married men that cheat on their wives all the time, and we've just come to know as that's something normal that happens. But then polyamory, oh no, like, people are insane. But like, come on, it's not that uncommon to hear in Mexico about like men that have a second family or a third family and a second wife and another like whole family that the first wife didn't know about. Like,
look at other religions.
Hey,
like in Islam.
What about it?
No, just like how it's many men have multiple wives.
Oh yeah, totally.
And it's actually like not frowned upon.
No, I remember meeting a guy, and I have a video on this channel meeting a guy from Saudi Arabia, because I met him in Vienna randomly, and it was back when I was still making just random vlogs for my friends back home. And I met him, and he was telling me how his father had 3 wives, and that he married his late brother's or his late uncle's wife when he passed away, because he wanted to keep her in the family, so they won't get their house, and they're of course stupid crazy rich. But still, like, having multiple wives for a different culture is such a normal thing. So what is normal? Nothing is normal anymore.
The only bad thing about it is it's expensive, so you just need money for it. Like, maybe that's why we come to the monogamy thing, but like, it's really comes down to money, because that's a lot of time and money. Like, I don't know how I can manage having 5 wives or 5 husbands.
No, and I'm not saying that that's a perfect relationship, but like, it is a relationship that a lot of people have. We just are not familiar with it at all. I'm not either, like, but I've heard it. So, and this is like living abroad and living in Europe and coming across so many people with very different points of view and very different lifestyles and religions and ethnicities, that I did not have like the access to these connections in Mexico. In Mexico, we're all Mexican. We're all kind of from the same social class. We all went to school together. We all think the same. We all dress the same. We all look the same. And I have not seen that until now that I've been like away for so long, that I see how friends tend to blend into each other, and you dress the same and you think the same.
Yeah.
But when you have someone who's in your friend group that is very different minded, but is still your friend, it's much easier to like accept their lifestyle or their way of being because you're their friend. But if you just hear from a random stranger, they're like, not my thing. Like, no, that's wrong. It's just different. Or so be having friends like you, or like my friend from Morocco who was Muslim. Like, just all of these friendships have changed me in a way to like be more open-minded, which is why I can't blame my friends back home for thinking a certain way if they have always lived there.
Yeah, it's always good to see. I mean, you don't have to agree with it, but just to learn and understand the different points of views of others or their mentalities and cultures. It's very important to just at least acknowledge it. But don't ignore it. Don't say it's wrong or whatever, but just be, curious about it and learn about it.
Yeah, or like keep an open mind, like, hear with like an open heart as well. But anyway, what else we were talking about? Because like we wrote down on our notes, like talking about masturbating. I don't think I have a lot of friends, maybe not a lot, but I have a few friends that have never masturbated in their lives, which blows my mind because I still have friends who are virgins, friends who are not, friends who are married, friends who are single. So I have like in my group in Mexico, I have friends of like all different types. But I do still have a lot of friends that are very religious, very like traditional, and conservative, very conservative. But they have a friend like me that is a complete opposite. So I love that they have access to me, so that if they ever want to talk about sex, they can just be like, Weiss, I need to tell you something. Or at least have someone that they can go to that they feel comfortable enough to like be vulnerable like that. But crazy that like a lot of people don't know how to masturbate. They don't know what sex toys are, which is what we wanted to do like initially our video. We'll eventually, you and I are gonna do a video reviewing sex toys. Yes. Because like she has so many, I have a lot. We have a lot of experience with that because of course. And we can, like, girls can really, like, it's hard for me to come sometimes just from penetration. Like, I need to get myself there, which is not a problem in, like, my relationship, but it's something that, like, a lot of people don't know that it's common. Like, not all girls can just come from penetration.
Yeah,
like,
that's just, like, one part of the package. Like, you need a whole thing. Yeah. So you need to be stimulating many spots.
Yeah, which is why sex toys are so fun. But that's gonna be a topic for a different video, and we can get into it. But just in general, like, I don't think I've ever used sex toys in my sex life. I mean, I've used them on myself, but I don't know if I used them with other people. But
I have, and I think it's really fun.
And that's what I want you to tell me on our next video when we eventually record together, because that's the knowledge that I want to get for me and my people. But what else? Well, because we were talking about Berlin, like, the Kit Kat Club is a pretty famous fetish club. People have sex there. Of course, phones are not allowed in any.
You should have showed up with a dildo. Maybe they would have let you in.
Oh, no. We got in the Kit Kat. Of course we did.
Oh, you're talking about Kit Kat? Oh,
yeah.
No. I was talking about the other club.
No. We got into the Kit Kat.
Maybe the other club you would have gotten in.
Yeah, with a dildo in my hand. They would be like, no, go back to the Kit Kat. We know where you're coming from. Because in the Kit Kat, you can get in with, like, leather, like, latex, fetish, fishnets. Like, that's kind of the vibe of the club. And we went twice. And of course, you don't have to do anything if you don't want to, but the music is great. Most clubs in Berlin have great music, but the vibe in Kit Kat, because everyone, like, a lot of the people are naked and everyone's just like wearing underwear. It's just like no fucks given at all, which is the beauty of it. It ended up being so much fun. We went twice this weekend.
It's like you're free, like
you're
no
free
judgment.
to literally do whatever you want, and people were having sex. We saw a lot of kinky shit, weird outfits, but the most hilarious part, oh my god, we found this random German guy that gave us a joint, and once we got out of the club at like 7 a.m, we were dressing, because there's a dressing room in the beginning where like you in the entrance where you like kind of change into your outfit, or because it's usually pretty cold, and that's where you leave your phone. In other clubs in Berlin, they just put like a small sticker on your camera, like both sides, and they they let you keep your phone, but in the Kit Kat they take it from you. They leave. You cannot get in with the phone because there's like actual nudity and stuff going on there. But wait, what? So you lose that track of time sometimes because you are not looking at the time on your phone, and you're like,
nice,
damn.
though. So you're really free.
Yeah, exactly. You're really free. Like that's something that sucks from club culture. Like just people always being on their phones. But anyway, what I was getting to is that the guy that gave us a joint, which is this older random German guy, like we see him dressed with a collared shirt and like a little blazer and his pants and his hat with his suitcase ready to go to the office. We're like, oh my god, who are you? Like we could not recognize him. Like I was like, oh my god, I was not expecting you to look like this. So yeah, it's just a hilarious club in Berlin that you should try to go to and keep an open mind. Like it's very respectful. People approach you, and if you don't want to do anything, you just say no.
You have to take me there. I really want to go. I've never been to Berlin.
Oh my god, you haven't?
Yeah, I'm going to Germany next month, but
you
Munich,
would fucking love Berlin. Like Berlin is so much fun, you guys. It's like 8 p.m. and look at the light. Like it doesn't get dark in Europe during the summer until like 10 p.m. Isn't that crazy?
And the sun comes so early. I'm like, what the fuck? It's only 5. Okay, so, well, about the circumcision?
Yeah, European guys. Well, this is what she's telling me. I thought it was only Italian guys because my friend says like all the time, like, todos los italianos son chetos, which means that like all Italian men are not circumcised because here's just not a thing. And that leads to more protection and less carrying of diseases. But I didn't know that, and I'm sure there's a lot of people that don't know that.
Because people think like, oh, it gets dirty, but it's like it's called cleaning your dick properly. That's the whole point of it. Like if you
and the bidet,
then it's clean. It's not dirty. You know, it's more dirty. If you
wait.
It. Oh, goddamn bells.
It's Italy. Anyway, we switched up the angle a little bit because we're filming with my phone, and I think the microphone should have been on your side this whole time. Whoops. Anyway, hopefully you guys were able to hear us because I can do a lot of magic in the editing. We'll be fine. Anyway, we were talking about circumcision. So, European guys tend to be like more circumcised.
I can't say just European guys, but for sure, like in Europe, like guys are definitely not as circumcised or really circumcised at all.
Yeah, I guess it depends on the person.
It's a Western thing, like America.
Yeah, everyone in Mexico, I think most people there are circumcised. And also in America. Well, I don't know about Americans. I'm not into America.
Or the Americas, like North America.
Sí, o sea, like the entire continent. I think it's more like what are we east or west? We're west. We're east.
You know, the Western culture is the one that's more into the circumcision. Okay. There we go.
Okay. There we go. Yeah, but like here it really depends on your family. Like there's some people who are, there's some people who aren't. So like I think I've seen all sorts of dicks here. But yeah, I didn't know it was also like easier to be cleaner in a way to not like carry disease. So I guess that's a good thing, and that's mainly why people don't do it. But yeah, like that's something I didn't know.
It's the evolution of the human, right? Humans.
I mean, it's there for a reason, no?
Yeah, exactly. Like having a clit, like it's there for a reason.
Well, yeah, because we were also talking about having safe sex, and like, okay, the pull-out method is definitely not an option. Like that is not something that you should just like trust all the time. Like
if you're gonna do it responsibly. Know when to do it. Don't
exactly, because like as a girl, if you track your cycle and you maybe can get away with it, but it's not something that like
it's
you can
risky
just
still. But
it's very risky.
Don't do it mindlessly.
Wear a condom, you guys. Like there's my DMs till this date are still flooded with girls asking sex advice because they still like get my video, and this is all in Spanish. Let's see how well this sex related video does in English. But my DMs are still flooded with like this girl today asked me like, what if I use a condom? I'm like, well, good, that's enough. El condón es suficiente. I used to say that all the time, like wearing a condom is enough protection. Maybe it's not like it doesn't guarantee that it's 100% effective all the time, especially now if it breaks, but that's not common. Like wear a condom, you'll be fine. But if you are having sex constantly with someone and you see that you don't want to wear a condom, as a girl, take care of yourself. Take the pill. Get an IUD. Is that how you say it?
Yeah, IUD. Yeah.
IUD. I got one. I can make a whole video of getting mine because yeah, that's one of the videos that I wanted to make on my channel back when I was when I started creating content this year. I did only 2 videos, and one of the videos that I wanted to film was me talking about like my story of getting an IUD in Mexico.
Yeah, birth control, really important subject because there's many birth controls and
And that's
a
really
lot of people
good.
don't know which one's for them. And
Exactly, but go to your
this in the future.
gynecologist and have him recommend which one is the best for you, which is why you have to do it. You have to go to a gynecologist. And a lot of girls in Mexico, that's what they're scared of, because they're like, well, I'm underage, or they're gonna have to tell my parents. But you bitches are gonna end up with a baby or a disease if you don't like take care of yourself. And having a baby is the least of your problems. Getting a disease is the worst like situation that you can be in.
For going to the doctor?
No, there's not. But like girls in Mexico, like they won't go. They think, I think maybe when you're a minor, maybe they have to tell your parents like only if you're in a certain type of risk. I'm not sure, but I always recommend like have a friend, an aunt, someone who's an adult that you can like rely on. An adult being 18-year-olds, like to have someone take you to the gynecologist. Like as a girl, ask for help. Your friends will be there for you. But anyway, I wanted to make a video of my story because I did it now when I was back in Mexico, but it took me like 3 months to really get into it, like for my hormones to kind of fix themselves. So that's what I was waiting. But now that we're talking about sex and we're back in the topic and I'm creating content again and I'm going to be consistent, that will probably be one of my next videos, because I have a lot to talk about that subject, and it was hard, but so worth it. Now that I'm like done with like the period of like destabilization, I'm good. But it was hard, and it was winter and I was depressed. So
wait, destabilization,
it takes like 3 months that's what my gynecologist told me, that it takes 3 months for your body to get used to the new hormones that your body is receiving.
Ah, okay. Wait, the IUD?
Yeah.
Really?
I got the Mirena one.
Okay, I thought you were taking non-hormonal one.
No, I'm taking the hormonal one, because exactly, there's 2 different types, and I'll get into that in the video. But I have the Mirena, which is one that gives you hormones. So yeah, I mean, I'm still gonna go to the gynecologist once a year just to check that everything is fine, but like I go once a year to get a mammogram, like everything. So well, now when I go back to Mexico,
September.
September.
You get a mammogram already?
Not mammogram, but like
you mean like they feel
I don't get a mammogram.
Okay, I was like, girl,
No.
like
I don't need
not
it.
Good.
But I have very big boobs, so
Yeah.
I need to have, I need to take care of them a lot, in the sense of like I need to touch and feel. He did not
very important.
He just gave me a breast exam. Maybe I said mammogram in my last video or in a video at some point, but
And also doing it yourself is really important, because then you get used to it, then you know the changes.
yeah, you have to get used to your own like.
And also know like
what
when
you're
you're
feeling.
on your period, and also you swell up, so like just be aware of all these kind of changes. And not think maybe it could be cancer. I mean, it's always good to be careful about it, but don't get too hypochondriatic about
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
I made up that word.
Yeah. I'm not at all. And I think as a general in Mexico, we're not very like, oh, I broke a fingernail, I'm gonna go to the doctor. Like Americans go to the doctor for like anything.
Oh God, no. Everything's medicated. Like if you have a sore thumb, they give you.
Okay. And we're back. I had to delete some videos from my phone because I got iPhone storage full. So anyway, we can just wrap it up here because we have talked for a while, and as for now, I'm just gonna keep my videos to like 10-15 minutes, and I have to go to dinner. My friends are probably waiting for me. But it was great having like a sex related video like back again in my channel, because I really wanted to get into it again and like create more of this type of content, which is what worked the most on my channel. There's gonna be more content coming, so stay tuned. Thank you, Laura for being here with me. You're gonna be with me in my next video.
Yes,
so
thank you.
Prepare yourself. And yeah, that's all for this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao. Mwah.